And we're live. Hey guys. Okay, I'm trying something new here. Welcome, my friends, to We're Doing Podcast now. So I'm very, very excited because my buddy Henry, he's going to be calling in here on Instagram, and we're going to talk about something. So we're going to go live here, have him join me live on Instagram. You guys can check that out. If you don't have, it's Austin Awkward Ninja on Instagram. He'll be going live there with me. If you want to see him, I'm gonna have to try to have him in on this as well. So we're gonna have the audio from that right next to the microphone if you're listening from as well. So it should be fine. But welcome to the Instagram viewers as well. Um, very, very excited. We're trying out some new technology. We're doing a fun little bit of um, technology juggling as we're figuring out how to best do all this live stuff. I probably could also go live on Facebook, but I think for now we're going to try just to do the both, Instagram and here on YouTube for this particular podcast. Let me just send this to the guy that's coming on. His name is Henry. He is awesome. Um, he is an entrepreneur. He does resale completely as his full-time job now. But I wanted to get him on because I wanted to ask him some questions and share with you guys a bit of his story and his background and where he's come from. I'm just very excited to have him on as a guest. So we're going to either have him call via phone or join us on the Instagram live, and you guys will be able to hear that because it's right next to your microphone. Either way, the phone is going to be right there. So we're live on both Instagram and here on YouTube right now as we're juggling it, trying to see how it all kind of pans out. So, but welcome. Oh my goodness, what's happened this week that's new? Still doing all the same things, still doing the tutoring, still doing the Starbucks things, still in school, still training for that marathon. I'm trying to decide which one. I'm looking online. There was one that was mentioned in a list of marathons for like October and September. It was the Mystery Mountain Marathon. It listed the one from last year, and they said the date is to be determined this year, as far as I'm aware. So I'm excited to figure out if I'm going to do that one, if I'm going to sign up for a different one in that same kind of time period. There's also like the spooky half marathon or marathon race in October, like the 31st of October, for like a Halloween celebration or whatever. So I'm just going to kind of see which one I want to do over time. But I've been running almost every day. I think I have like maybe a day off or two every week. Still doing that, still making music. My tie, we had debates today at on my with my students that I tutor. We did a policy debate. It was great. It was really awesome. They all had a great time. I was thrilled and honored to be part of it. It was wonderful. It was great. It was just all the things that you really could want from a really cool debate. The students were informed. They had good posture, good eye contact. They were very, very formal. They all came in their formal way. Or part of why I'm wearing this today is I came from that to my other duties I had to do today. So I'm still kind of dressed up for that. Anyhow, but yeah, that's kind of the gist of this week. A lot of the same old, but a lot of new, exciting things, and every day is a blessing. But yeah, so welcome in. We're in Henry V, and we had this great professor who came in, who's a Shakespeare professor, and he came in and he did our Shakespeare section today, and he had some great things to say. He gives great context to it. He gives great background historically. He talks about like what this means, like having this great back and forth with him was awesome. So very excited about that. I also have this book. I showed this one when Taylor came on. I was talking about like some of my favorite books. All right, sweet. Henry is in. Let's see if I can get him to if he can request to join the live. I should be able to allow him on to have him be a part of this podcast and share some knowledge with you all. So I'm trying to see if I can get that done here real quick. Wonder if I can. All right, let's see if we can get him on here. Hey,
What's up, man?
how are you?
Good.
Doing well, doing well. Awesome. All right, the technology worked.
It worked.
I was trying to get Connor Dirting on a couple weeks ago, and we had a technology like just like spasm. It didn't work. So I was a little bit anxious to get you on here. But I'm very very excited. I hopefully they can hear you on the YouTube live as well. You're out by the web camera for both, so you're live on you're live on both basically. I can hear you just fine. And anyone who's watching here on Instagram should be able to hear you just fine as well. And you're right next to them. So hope it should transfer over just fine as well. I don't know because I'm not able to watch the live because my devices are here and here. So, but yeah, I wanted to get you on to talk about just general stream of consciousness, but also about what you do and to maybe inspire some people that watch and whatnot, as far as like your background, like where you started with like your resale stuff and like your ability to kind of quit your day job and to kind of go into something that you're more passionate about. So I just love to hear from you about that.
Yeah. I mean, so basically, a little backstory on me is I've been selling. I would say I've been an entrepreneur since I was a little kid. So I've always been selling things here and there, selling things at school, whether it be candy or whether it be me selling shoes in junior high and high school. And like I sold a little bit of clothing, but it was mostly shoes in high school, and then some electronics. I don't know. I just hustled my way through school and made money that way, and that was kind of like my side thing. And then I would say after high school, I experimented with a lot of online stuff. That's when I started getting into just trying to sell things online. I started on OfferUp, or not OfferUp, but like Craigslist, and started moving things there. And then locally, like on Facebook and stuff like that. And I just kind of did it as a hobby, not really like as a main source of income. I just kind of thought it was fun, and I knew I could make extra money, and I liked buying stuff and knowing that I could resell it later and get about the same money back, or maybe a little bit less or a little bit more. And then from there, yeah, I was working my job for 8 years. I was sales and marketing manager, and I did that. And throughout that experience of me working and learning wholesale, because I did a lot of the wholesale ordering from China to the U.S. for our shop.
For sure.
So I learned the game from working there when it came to like buying wholesale, buying low and stuff. I kind of got a more like systemized experience from it. So then I started selling just everything. I started my own website, and I remember selling hoverboards when they were popular, when they first came out. Fidget spinners. I did that for a while. I've done a little bit of this business model called drop shipping. I did that for a little bit. I wasn't into it. And then I started selling stuff on eBay. So eBay was kind of like where it all started. It was I remember I collect these little action figures. They're like Dragon Ball Z action figures.
Yeah.
And I wanted to get them, but I didn't want to pay for them. So how I kind of mapped it out was I was going to buy a bunch of them in an auction, keep the ones I wanted, and then sell off the rest. So I sold off all of them and kept the ones I wanted, and I ended up making a little bit of money. So from there, I was like, this online thing kind of works. So I got intrigued. And then I started looking around my house and finding everything that I didn't need anymore or that I could sell. Then I found a bunch of stuff, made a decent amount of money. My first month on eBay, I think I did like $500.
Nice.
Which was extra on top of me already working my full-time job. So I was like, that's kind of cool, just selling like stuff that's just laying around the house. So from there, I started researching more. I hopped on YouTube, and man, I'm very thankful that we live in a world where there's just abundance of research and information out there that's free.
Definitely.
So, yeah, I hopped on YouTube, did my research, and then I found a reseller on there named Reezy Resells, and he sold books, and he was a small YouTuber at the time. And I just kept watching his videos, and then I learned how to sell on Amazon. So I sold eBay as a side hustle. It was my fun thing. And then Amazon, I watched his videos, and I was like, man, people are making a lot of money doing this. So he sold books. So I started hunting around for books. I bought me a little Bluetooth scanner so I could scan barcodes, and I was going around to all of the thrift stores and garage sales just finding books. And I would scan some books, and it would end up being like, I think it would be like I'd buy them for $1 and sell them. Some would sell for like $80, $50, $40, and since it's Amazon, they would sell fast.
Yeah.
And then from there it just blew up, man. I went from selling toys on eBay as a hobby. Then I went to selling more stuff on eBay. Selling more stuff on eBay. Then I stacked up my cash from Amazon, and I was like, I'm not going to touch it. This money is reserved for reinvesting right back into my business.
Yeah.
So I just kept stacking it up. I let it grow, just thousands of dollars in my bank account. And then as soon as I did more research on what to sell on eBay, because eBay to me is more fun. Amazon's more, it's just a good money maker.
Yeah.
Then I did a combination of the both, and I kind of invested my money from Amazon that I wasn't going to touch, right? And I used it strictly to invest on my eBay side because I thought eBay was fun. And then from there it just blew up, man. We hired our first employees. I quit my job. I remember quitting my job after I think it was December of 2018, and it was just crazy because my first month on Amazon, I remember doing $1,400 selling used books that I bought from thrift stores, and then from there the numbers kept going up and up and up, and it was a hustle and it was hard to do. But, I just got the ball rolling and I just kept jumping into other things. And December 2018, left my job and pursued this full time. And then I did a combination of eBay and Amazon. Hired my first employee, which was a lister. And then fast forward to today, I do it full time. My wife now quit her job. She does not work anymore. Well, she works in our business now.
Yeah, that's awesome.
We have one full time guy, 3 other listers, and we're about to put on another full time employee.
Awesome. Very cool. I like knowing you for so long. I saw where it all started. Like I saw like you at your other job and hustling on top of that, and like just the growth that you've been through is just really inspiring. And part of what what I am doing now, I'm trying to get within the week or so. I have to do some more research on it. My website's set up for selling my T-shirts and stuff. And I've got all my old gift cards. I'm getting my guitar, like Hole Punch coming in. So I'm just trying to figure out like where I want to get a domain name from, possibly, or like what I kind of want to do there. So I mean, people like you kind of inspired me to do that. People like Connor inspired me to do the podcast. I've just been trying to like do more things that I enjoy, but also things that will potentially have an investment value later, and that will have the opportunity for me to like grow and learn.
100%, man. I think if in this day and age, you got to be doing something online, whether you're selling something, whether you're trading, whether you're doing podcasts, YouTube. Online is where it's at, man.
Yeah.
It's it's just gonna grow.
Absolutely.
So I mean, I think you're doing the right steps, getting in the right position to set yourself up for some future success, man. And I've seen you've been grinding, trying different things out.
Yeah.
Your work ethic is strong and you're very consistent. So I feel like eventually, man, it's just gonna blow up for you too. So
appreciate that. That's the goal. That's the dream. A part of why I do the 2 jobs right now and school is to push myself towards that goal, like long term, to be to where I can have an opportunity to grow, but also have an opportunity to save and sock some money away, and just kind of keep things moving.
Oh yeah, for sure, man. But yeah, man, I sometimes I look back on it and I'm like, man, I can't believe that I'm actually free. So I'm like free doing my own thing. I'm my own boss, and I don't know. I have to like think back and stop myself sometimes and realize, man, I got here and I started from barely anything.
Yeah.
And now, like I would still consider myself still a small fish.
Yeah.
But out of people I personally know, I'm killing it.
Definitely.
Like, it's crazy.
Yeah, it's awesome to be So my buddy Brent's watching over on YouTube, and he can't actually hear you. So Henry, I don't know if you ever had a chance to meet Brent. Brent is I would call Brent my best friend. We met 7 years ago now at a piano. We sat down and just were like, let's play this thing. And so that's how we met. And then me and Henry, I used to work with Henry's wife at the restaurant Viva when I was working at Tacoma. So you guys have now digitally met. I hope you guys can meet in person sometime because you guys are both just awesome people. He's a teacher, and I think that you guys could really get along.
Oh, it'd be awesome, man.
But yeah.
But is it hard for anyone to hear me?
They're saying that they can hear you here, and it looks like they can hear you on the YouTube video as well. So it seems that everything's going well. So
okay, cool. As long as all the audio is fine.
Yeah, it's looking good on my end, and I just got a comment from Brenton that he can hear you. So he was just asking who you were. So yeah, you guys haven't had a chance to meet. I hope you guys get a chance to meet in person.
That'd be awesome, man.
But yeah, so like, when did you kind of when you took the leap of faith and like you left your job? Like, what was that kind of? How did that feel?
When I left my job,
yeah,
honestly, it was scary. Even though I knew I was making more than my job, it was still scary to leave that job because it was 8 years. You know, I was basically one of the higher ups in the company, but I got to a point where I just didn't feel fulfilled anymore. So when I got to the point where I actually left, yeah, it was very scary because I had a stockpile of money, and it was a decent amount stacked up in the bank. But once I quit my job, my full-time job, it was kind of scary because that money just kept stacking up when I had my other job. So my other job, I used to pay bills and everything.
Yeah.
And all the profits from the business, I was just stacking up. So when I quit my job, I didn't have that safety net of, my full-time job income coming in. So that was kind of scary. But I just, I went in, and it was that comfort level too, that having that comfort level, of knowing that everything is going to ride on this moment now. And, you have to go all in, or,
yeah,
or your business bank account's going to deplete. You're not going to be able to pay your bill. So you really gotta go in. So
definitely
having all of that, like one of my favorite quotes is, "Comfort is the enemy of progress." So I just saw, I was comfortable doing this, and I was gonna have less money at that moment, but I knew if I had all of that time to put into my business, I would triple what I had at that time. I would quadruple it. And first month in, super scary, super stressful, knocked it out. Sales kept coming in. I saw the business bank account going down a little bit, but it was because of me investing into product and, that right back into the business. So I was just doing as much as I can. I was working long days. I remember working like 15-hour days.
Yeah.
When I first started, 15, sometimes even longer, when I first went full time. And then from there, I would say about month 2, I started feeling more comfortable because I was like, man, look at what I've done with this time. Since I wasn't tied up at my 9-to-5 job, I was able to, invest way more time with about the same amount of money, maybe a little bit more money for sure, actually. And then the sales just kept rolling in.
Yeah.
I started to see like all the sales come in. It kind of put me at ease. It put me at ease, and my stress level went down. But I was still working the long days. I had to kill myself to kind of get those sales because I was doing it all by myself, and then I had one person helping me out listing all my products online.
Definitely. I want to show you something kind of in the same vein of this conversation. So. Yep. So I've been selling my t-shirts, and I have this cup here that I keep money that I've made from them in, like profit type money. If it was expenses that went to purchase the product, that's going to go into an account. But like profit money, I'm kind of keeping that here. I'm kind of keeping that vision, and it's like this visual reminder. I just like every day I wake up in the morning, I see like what I've done, and like it gives me vision for more, like what more I want to do, like where this could go eventually. But I try to keep all of the profit side of it in here. And I tried to keep good receipts, keep a good record of what everything cost. There we go. What everything cost over time to kind of keep that visual of just like this every day I wake up and I'm able to say, this is money that I can say I made off of my product. And so it's a really cool kind of reminder, but like also like to look what more could it eventually become. Like this is it's a lot of ones because people pay in a lot, like because it's a small cost.
To a big safe.
Yeah, eventually, hopefully, yes, that's the dream. But yeah, so like for now, I've just been keeping it in here just to kind of like have that visual representation of like this is stuff that I have made as profit, and I can have this as more investment to get more product to make, get more shirts, get more iron-on papers, things like that, or whatever I'm going to be buying for it, and like having that opportunity just to see it, like visually representing of it. So that's for me like a good reminder.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome.
Yeah. So I'm just trying to keep my head in the right space, because I think that right now I feel like I do a lot. Like I'm in school, I'm doing the tutoring, I'm doing the Starbucks barista thing. I'm trying to do this on top of it. I've been trying to train for like a running event. I'm trying to decide which one I want to do, but I want to like make sure that all my time is spent doing valuable things. Like I used to just spend time like surfing YouTube and not even like the good like educational stuff. So watching like nonsense silly videos that exactly. Say what?
Just like entertainment.
Yeah, entertainment. And like I watched a lot of different movies and I still enjoy those things, but I feel like I've cut down on that, and I've been trying to fill my time with really valuable things, like things that will, like we said earlier, that could help have an investment value later on. That could be something that I can like be proud of. Like when I think about my days, like what did I do today? Like, oh, I worked my shift, or I went taught my students, or I sold a couple T-shirts, like 5 or 6 T-shirts. Or I made this actual product, or I got the order form filled out for this, and like that kind of stuff of like this is what I do with my time, like seeing that, and being proud of like every moment. Like I went for a run, like, and I'm not thinking, oh, what did I do today? I sat around and I watched videos all day, or I like laid in bed, like feeling.
It's huge, man.
Yeah.
It's huge. Yeah,
feeling
like
productive.
My day is planned out on a list. Like I literally have no little spaces in between, unless it's night when I'm about to sleep, and I can if I want to do something, I can either sacrifice a little bit of sleep,
Yeah,
binge watch my show, or play video games or something like that, or I just knock out, man, and just go about keep going about the really important things.
Yeah.
I do. There has to be a balance, though. So you have to have a little bit of an outlet or an escape, something to kind of ease your mind so you're not just stressed out.
Yeah.
I definitely ran 24/7 with just work, 15-hour days, and then just kept going. And what I've noticed with owning a business is that there's always, like, you can't do it all in one day.
Yeah.
It's always something to be done. So I kind of just delegate it to different days of the week now, and I have this list, and I get as many things as I can do without killing myself. So
definitely.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I can really go all day and not have a life, because I've done that before.
Yeah.
But now I'm easing into finding a balance, of a work-life balance.
For sure. No, I did that when I first moved here. I was working both at Starbucks and at Buffalo's Cafe. I had days where I get up in the morning, I start work at 6 a.m. and I would get off of work at 10 or 11 p.m. at night. And I would just be working pretty much that whole day. I might have a little break in between for like lunch, but I would go to Starbucks in the morning, start my shift there, work 4 or 5 hours there, then go up, work 7, 8 hours at Buffalo's, and then all the things that had happened in between, like whether it's depositing checks or running to the grocery store. Like for a bit, I did that. And actually I did that to the point for I had no days off for 21, 22 days. And it actually it negatively impacted me to the point where like I got sick and I had to like take some time off.
Yeah, I mean, it's huge, man, the impact that it has when you just overwork yourself.
Yeah.
Whether that be manual labor or even just stuff sitting at a computer for hours on end.
Yeah.
It's all mentally and physically draining.
Definitely.
Having that balance and having outlets, that's kind of like why I have jiu-jitsu, but sometimes you get so busy where I can't even train because I just have tons of things to do, managing employees. I got orders, I got problems that I have to handle, returns, all of these different things. And it's kind of like I'm getting to the point where I'm like, especially now that I have a team, is where I'm at the point where I'm just like, man, I'm going to go and I need to go. Like, I'm going tonight.
Yeah.
And just like, man, I'm not letting anything stop me from going tonight because otherwise I'm never going to go.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, when I didn't have my business, I went a lot. Like, I was very consistent. So it's something like that. It's different for everybody. It could be jiu-jitsu, it could be running, it could be working out.
Yeah.
It could be all of those, hanging out with friends, but you got to have that balance, definitely.
Yeah, I think that as much as you and I both preach, like hustle, grind, absolutely, but also have that balance, because both of you and I have gotten to that point where it was just like we just need to take a minute, and having a better like juggling of it and a better balance of it. It takes, I think, for some people, it takes learning the hard way. Like for me, it took moving here to have this mentality. Like for the while, I had the same job for 4 or 5 years. I wasn't growing or learning. I was just there at Viva, cooking food. A lot of the same job, and I really didn't have the opportunity for growth or the necessity for growth. And then I came down here, and for the first month, I was by myself. Like I'd lived on my own in my own spot, like at the goat rescue and in the apartment for a little while after Brendan moved out when I was there in Tacoma. But like being on my own in a different state from everybody that was, close to me was like a brand new kind of experience for me. And so for about a month, it was just like me, and my sister came down on the weekends, but she still lived in Atlanta. So like a lot of my days were spent just by myself, just working, just pushing myself to grow. And I think the fact that it took me getting down here to be back in school, to be working, 2 jobs, be doing what I need to do to like push my life forward. So it took that uprooting, and for some people that's what it takes. And for me, it took the hard way, for both learning about balance and about like putting forth the good effort. So I say for those watching who are considering whatever it is that, like, you want to do or what you want to pursue, like your dreams, your passions, your desires, your career, like definitely be watching for those things. Be watching for that balance. Be watching for like where you need to be to push yourself to that spot.
Yeah, and it's definitely one of those things, like you said, that you spent like 5 years at a job, and like for me, I spent 8 years at a job, and it's like one of the things where you think about it, and it's like, is this truly what you want to do? Because time's not going to slow down for you. Life's not going to slow down for you. You don't want to you don't want to sit there and it's 15, 20 years later, and you're like, wait, where did all the time go?
Yeah.
Did I really maximize, my potential, and did I achieve all of the things that I wanted to achieve? Because life's not getting any longer either, unless you take there's ways, but I mean, you don't want to have any regrets when you get to that, to the older years. Or for me, even, I don't want to have any regrets, 2 years from now, 5 years from now. That's why I been so hard, and that's why I put priority on building this, because I'm doing this so I can be set for life, and you can't, especially if you're at a place and you feel unfulfilled, doing it just for the money. I feel like I never once wanted to do this just because it makes a lot of money. I did this so I could be free and own my time and really, really go where I wanted to go with my life,
Definitely.
Whether I'm selling this now and something else later, it's all leading me into that, to where I wanted to be, which is free, from my life. I think a big part of it too is not having debt. Like me and my wife have 0 debt. So I mean, having no debt was huge for us. Being able to build wealth. Like we were able to take, while there's a lot of people who have tons of payments that they owe on, and if you think about that, all of their money has somebody else's name on it, right?
Yeah.
So every time they get paid, they don't get that full pay. There's people who make 6 figures who live paycheck to paycheck. And, when we were not making very much money, the the fact that we had no debt, we had more money at the end of the month, and we were able to do more. So with that, we started doing different types of things, investing in things that we wanted to do. I don't know, man. I feel like that's a big one. Like, so if I could give anyone advice, I'd tell them, get yourself out of debt. Like, consumer debt. I'm not talking about business debt either.
Yeah.
In business, you can use debt to your advantage, but as a consumer, if you have racked up all of this credit card, all these credit card bills and car payments that are like as much as people's mortgages,
Yeah.
it's hard to win.
Definitely. No, that's huge. Not having debt. Like the blessing I have right now is I was able to defer some student loans till later. And real quick, I got a couple of comments I want to just read real faster. I've got a couple of waves. So welcome everybody who is just joined. And then Brent is kind of affirming giving time to things that deserve it, and absolutely. And then someone also just asked about like happiness. Like we talked a little bit about like getting stuck in a place and staying there and not, doing it for the money, and like the fact that are you growing? Are you happy? Or like it's a big part of it, because you're giving about a third of your life. Most people that work normal jobs, about a third of your life, 40 hours of your week to a company that in some ways could replace you like that. A lot of pretty much every job that is out there that is a company that if you're not working for especially if if not working for a small business, if you're looking for like a more corporate business, a lot of those jobs are just, they get replaced like that, like instantaneously. And so like if you're not happy in it, if it's not your vision, if you're not growing, like that's a big part of like why you might want to leave something, do something different.
Happiness is definitely a big thing. Like for me, I've through the whole business experience, I've had my ups and downs. I've had my moments of stress. It all comes with the territory, especially if you want to be an entrepreneur, you want to make a lot of money. You're asking for everything that comes with that, that amount of money. Whether that be, there's going to be times where you're going to be happy, sad, stressed out. But when it comes to happiness, for me, I don't have to make a ton of money to be happy. For me, I just want to have, time to do things I love. If I have time to do things I love and to enjoy things, and travel, like travel's a huge one that we want to do more this year, especially now that we have a team. That kind of stuff makes me happy. Building those experiences and moments that you can hold on to. It's not necessarily things for me. I sell things.
Yeah.
For my thing is mainly building memories that can last forever.
Definitely.
And, I feel like I've definitely with the business gone to different points where I'm like, am I happy? Am I happy? And I've asked myself that. But one thing that was kind of cool is when the moments when I didn't feel happy, I had the opportunity and the time to be able to say, well, I'm going to change these things to make myself happier, because I own my time now. So I don't have anyone telling me, no, you can't have this time off. You can't do this. You can't do this.
Yeah.
My potential is based on me now, and what so if I'm unhappy with something, then I change it. So like for instance, I sell on both Amazon and I sell on eBay, Mercari, Poshmark. So I sell on a few different platforms, but I was grinding super hard in Amazon and it was making me unhappy because I wasn't, though it made a lot of money, I wasn't I was just bored with the products I was selling.
Yeah.
The constant repetitiveness of the grind, like you're just going out grabbing stuff that you don't care about, and then you're just flipping it online. Though Amazon makes a lot of money. I've made a lot of money on Amazon.
Yeah.
The eBay side, I kind of have more control because I'm not just selling what people want. I'm selling things that I'm genuinely interested in.
Yeah.
For me, I collect vintage clothing, and I really get a jolt out of it. Like it really excites me to find something that I can pick up for $1 and sell for like $200.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So that part of it makes me happy, So I feel like that's one of those things where I was battling. Should I just keep doing Amazon and scale my Amazon business, but at a cost of my soul and my happiness? and just become, because I know for a fact if I invested all and I just cut out eBay, I could probably get pretty rich off of Amazon. But at a cost of my happiness and my soul, I don't think I would be 100% happy just selling the product that I was selling anyways. Amazon. But as far as the eBay side, I find a joy out of it when I do it every day. So, I mean, happiness for me is doing what you love and enjoying the moments of it, and realizing that there are going to be tough and hard times, because that comes with the territory of being a business owner.
Yeah.
But you can definitely 100% be happy doing this, especially knowing that you're following your dreams, your passion, and you're just making good use of your time. Hey, we got some comments. What's up, Mike the Great? This guy's really cool. He's a gunstagrammer, so he does like a Second Amendment,
nice.
He does he has reviews that he writes on his Instagram about the different companies that he works with. He's a super cool guy. We have known each other since we were pretty young.
Very cool. Very cool.
Growth. He's seen my growth. He said I'm just the
guy. There's actually a law here in Kennesaw, Georgia. It's not enforced, but there was a law historically where you had to legally own a gun. Yeah, no, it's actually still like an actual law. They don't enforce it. But kind of an interesting bit of point of connection there. Yeah.
What?
That's the South for you.
That's definitely not like our area.
No.
California is pretty bad, but Washington, it's getting more strict on things. But yeah, this guy right here, he does he gets products in, companies send him products, and he works with, and he can get like discount codes and things like that. And yeah, he has some super cool content on his Instagram page, so he's definitely someone cool to check out.
Nice, I'll check it out. He just said, I know where I'm moving.
Right?
And then Brent is joining us here on Instagram as well, the guy from over on YouTube. He's joining us here on Instagram, so I gave him a little wave. Welcome in. But yeah, awesome. Yeah, I'm super excited to have the opportunity to talk. So you're still hustling, writing. You said you're about to hire another full-time, because you have, is it one full-time and then 3 listers right now?
Yeah, so we have one full-time. He works 40 hours a week, Monday through Friday. Does all our packing and shipping, our inventory, and pretty much stuff like that. He does some cross-listing, so getting one item that we have listed on one platform onto the other platforms too. So we currently have him as a full-time. Then we have our 3 listers, 2 currently that are active right now, because all of our listers are pretty part-time. We have 3 of them who have setups at their house, and they work from home.
Awesome.
We give them product, and they list it all online and upload it via the app. And then we have another guy who's interning with us. He's currently listing. He's an in-house listing for us, but we're actually about to put him on full time. So we're just waiting till we get all the numbers right. I'm talking to my CPA and ready, and yeah, we're gonna put on our next full time guy, which is gonna be pretty exciting. He's an awesome guy.
That's awesome. Very, very cool. That's really exciting, like to see like the growth, like I said, like seeing you from the beginning, just on eBay to like where you are now, like hiring out people and like having your wife work with you.
Yeah, it's so unreal to me, because I definitely didn't see it coming. I honestly thought as more of just a hobby. I was like, oh, let's make extra. I want to make some extra money so we can like travel or do something cool.
Yeah.
Still keep my job, or still keep a job, and then no, I just doubled down and took that leap of faith, and just jumped head in. It worked out.
That's awesome. Very cool. Very, very cool. Oh man.
He said, I'll work
Hard time for you, bro. There you go.
Sure, man. You gotta hook me up, man. So we can sell some gun parts. I'm really interested in selling everything. I have my niche-based items that I really enjoy selling, and then I have items to sell mainly because of the money. And what I'm trying to work on is finding more items that I actually enjoy selling, because then the product knowledge, the product research is super easy for me because I enjoy it, so it doesn't feel like work. So like gun parts would be pretty cool.
Definitely.
Car parts too.
Yeah, and you've sold a couple cars, right?
I've sold cars. I've sold. I try to sell a few cars, like a couple cars a year. As much as like I honestly, I'll sell as many as I can if I find them.
Yeah.
Don't be legal, right? Like trying not to get my dealer's license or anything like that.
Yeah. Nice. Mike has some good industry pricing for you.
Huh?
Mike has some good industry pricing for you.
Oh heck yeah, that'd be awesome, man. I mean, I got all the permits, licensing for everything. For guns, if I ever wanted to sell guns, all I'd have to do is get an FFL, and I could be a home-based FFL. So that's kind of cool. FFL is the Federal Firearms License.
Very cool. Making connections.
Yeah.
And that's a big part of it too. And I'm sure, like networking and marketing and connecting with your customers and like having good follow through, making sure your product is good, your service is good. Like one of the things I did with my shirts was I followed up with my people I sold. I said, hey, does that fit you well? Are you comfortable with the product? Any feedback you'd like to give me? Like just kind of try to get in there and get that information from them.
Yeah, I think that's pretty huge because like we get on all of our platforms, people can review us, so it's open to the public where they can see.
Yeah.
And we have really good reviews, so I kind of gives me that feedback and lets me know I'm doing things right.
Yeah.
And then if any customers have a problem, I'll get messages and they'll email me, or I'll get returns and things like that. And I take those as little. I don't ever take those as a negative thing. I take it as that kind of sucks at first, but then like, let me try to improve upon that. And then I build a new system around it, teach it to my team, and then everyone's all on the same page, and then it just gets better and better. But then as far as networking, I feel like networking is huge. Like just knowing and getting out there and meeting a lot of people.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people I buy wholesale from for my business because I don't really hunt anymore. I mainly just buy wholesale. So wholesale vintage, wholesale clothing, wholesale shoes.
Yeah.
Wholesale toys. Just making those connections and building those relationships with those people, I feel like is huge because then you have, it's almost like an extension to your team.
Yeah.
You have your team, and then you have, your wholesalers that are, you guys are both making money. It's a mutually beneficial relationship, especially if they're cool people, then it just makes it even better. But yeah, networking is huge, finding those contacts, building those relationships. And then, like you said, with the customers, like getting that feedback.
Yeah.
So you have continued repeat relationships with your customers too.
Definitely. That's huge. Now I was just going to quickly ask, I don't know what the policy would be, but could I link like your stores in, especially if the YouTube video, the quality is good. Can I link those in my description for my YouTube videos so my people could go check that out?
Yeah, 100%. I have all of my links on my Instagram.
Okay.
There's a thing called the link.
Yeah.
And it has all of my different stores. But I can also send them to you in a text so you know.
Yeah, that might be easier if I can type it in that way. And I can just link things. I want to be able to. I mean, I've got a pretty small audience, but the people that do watch, they're really good people that have good. They're very consistent on like watching and like following up with things. So I think I can maybe get you potentially a good connection there as well.
Yeah. And I got a little bit of everything for everyone. And if I even have a lot of connections, like you said, networking. So if someone needs a referral to someone's site, I know I'm connected with a lot of people. So whatever you're looking for, I have friends who sell everything too.
That's awesome. But I'll make sure to do that one. Once the YouTube video goes live, especially if it has the audio from the call here on Instagram, and that's good. If not, I'll just link it in a post on social media somewhere so people can kind of go and find that for you, find you on there. Of course. I mean, I feel like we got to support each other. We're friends. Like we always support each other, That's how we do things.
Yeah, I love that too. Like other entrepreneurs supporting other people, collabing and doing things like that. I love that because you're supporting each other's dreams.
Yeah.
And I feel like people like that to just speak your mind with and talk about your aspirations and hold each other accountable. I feel like that's huge to have because sometimes you can be working and especially doing an online business, you can feel all alone at times. And a lot of the average person, different type of job might not understand all of the ups and downs having other people who are in that grind and doing those things that you're doing and going through really helps. So I feel like having those people talk to.
It's good to have a good support team, good kind of core, like people who are like with you that are doing similar stuff. I mean, it's like they say, like if you want to be a millionaire, be around millionaires. If you want to be like the kind of people that you are around, you're going to kind of conform to that just by nature of kind of being a person. Like that's just how that people are wired.
And I find that to be very true because I depending on the situation, just growing up, I've been around different types of people, and I've tried all these, tried different things out, and I noticed that the people who you surround yourself with, you end up being a lot alike. So, like what I did, like a big thing, I've read a lot of like self-help entrepreneur books and things like that. So I was like, let me try this out. So I just started reaching out to people and finding people. I found mentors through just messaging people and talking to people, and started surrounding myself around other sellers because I was like, man, I aspire to be like them.
I almost lost you. Sorry, I had a little. We good? I think I lost the thing there for a sec. My phone.
No, it was possible until I hit it. I was just like. Huh?
Oh, I lost you for a second there. I was trying to get a screenshot so I could share this with my people afterwards, but it wasn't quite working out for me. There we go. We got it. Screenshot got. Put the camera back in place. All right. If I can just get this correct. Question of the day. It's on such a. There we go. So we're back. So you were just talking about. I lost you right about. Well, you're talking about surrounding yourself with those people.
And it was one of those things you have that to go talk to. And I don't see all these are people. A lot of these people live out of state. I have one person I talk to, a few people I talk to who live in state.
Yeah.
But I was finding people like that you can kind of befriend and talk to on the regular. That was huge for me. Like that helped me become who I was or who I am now. So and like me and you, we talk, and you're on your grind, and exciting to see.
Oh yeah. We got a comment here saying sense of community is so key. It's easy to fall in and be immersed in your work, but when you have an aligned support system, your success is inevitable.
I
yeah,
agree with that.
Absolutely. It's one of those things where if you are someone that does like that works for yourself, like, and I'm not in that boat just yet. Maybe eventually, like you're talking to people who have like real jobs, and they're just like, oh, like what do you do? Like, well, I sell stuff online. Like, and the fact that like it's a lot more common these days. But like that explanation of like having to like not having to explain to people who do that kind of stuff. Like if you're in that world, like they understand that.
I'm seeing that. Also feels nice not having to explain yourself. Yeah. Oh my gosh, it's so nice because it's like there's not everyone, not the average working American is not going to relate to you. That's that's the fact of it, because the amount of entrepreneurs, yes, there's a lot of people trying it out and doing things, and there's people who do it part-time on the weekends, but just the amount of people who don't even believe it's possible is crazy to me. There's a lot of people who are like, I don't, that's you're actually making money doing that? Like how can you do that?
Yeah.
Like, I've seen something on YouTube. You'd be surprised, like the amount of people I talk to about it. But I mean, so they obviously have a ton of questions, which I like talking about it. And it's fun. And it's cool to, to drop knowledge on people, especially if it'll help them pursue something they want to pursue. But it's nice talking to other people who do the same thing you do, because you definitely don't have to explain yourself. They know the grind. They know the ups and downs. They know the stress that comes with it. They know the happy and the sad parts. They know about, all it comes with the territory of being an entrepreneur.
Yeah, definitely. So that's always nice.
The start was the hardest for me. So I feel like that when you're in that boat, that's the grind right there. Like I feel like I'm at a good place right now where I'm not as stressed. But I would say the start, man, I was so stressed out.
Yeah.
And having other people or mentors to walk me through things and tell me it's okay, you're gonna be fine, there's a light at the end of the tunnel, like that was huge.
Definitely, definitely. So we have about 10 minutes left, but I did want to just ask for anybody out there that's thinking about starting their own business or starting to do kind of resale stuff, like what is some advice? If you had to give advice in 10 words or less, what advice would you give?
So 10 words or less. I'll break it down in 3 different segments.
Gotcha.
I would say number 1, start. Like just start. So there's a lot of people who draw up all the plans. They do all the research. They're very knowledgeable about it, and then they put it on the back burner and never start. They never work up the courage to start. I feel like that's huge. Start. Another thing is stay consistent. Stay consistent and always be willing to change. Always be willing to change business models. Always be willing to change. Because especially when it comes to the online world, it's forever changing. It's here and there. And things can change just like that. You have to be prepared for that.
Definitely. I love that. Be willing to change. Start
is huge, man. It's very huge. There's so many people who just don't start, but they could be very successful if they just start.
Yeah, no, I saw this post on social media. I follow along with you a lot of kind of like business gurus and like inspirational kind of people, and the main thing that they say that holds people back is themselves, because they don't want to start. They don't want to take that leap of faith.
100%. To add on to that, I would say mindset. You have to change your mindset. For me, that was huge. Like having the right. So that's why I've read a lot of books, entrepreneur, self-help, things like that, and surrounded myself around different people. Also, did a ton of research, listening to podcasts. I just changed my mindset. You have to rewire your brain into thinking you're good enough, into knowing, when, like that you can start now. You have to be creative in this. Like I feel like your mindset is very key to this. If you don't have the right mindset, it's inevitable that you're going to fail. I feel like, if you work on that mindset and you work on yourself, you'll give yourself the steps to pursue and execute your dreams.
Definitely. So I think we definitely got 3 great words out of that, and we may leave them with this: start, mindset, and change. So we kind of keep those 3 things in mind. And then, you've joined us for the last little bit here, Lizzie, but welcome. We're doing my podcast over here today. Lizzie is the daughter of one of my coworkers, actually.
Nice.
Yeah. But yeah, so those are we'll say 3 words that we'll leave them with is start, mindset, change. Start it up, just go. Keep a right mindset. Be willing to change mindset, and then change. Change with the times. Change with what works, what doesn't work, and whatever's your comfort level. A lot of people do, or so I've been told. They keep their day job until their income is matched or exceeded by what they're making for themselves, kind of a thing. Some people kind of do that as an idea of like how to like gauge when you're ready. But at the same time, sometimes if it's going well, like Henry, he gave it a shot. He just made it happen, and he put in the effort and put in the work, and he just left his other job. And like the fact that he put in the work, the groundwork to get there what made that possible. Like putting in those long hours when he was doing both. To get to where he could just do just the one.
Yep. And in a sense, I did that too. Also, I took that leap of faith because I wanted to have that fight or flight turn on in me. I wanted to really feel what it feels like to struggle, because I knew if I didn't show up to the plate and do what I had to do, I was going to struggle, and I was not going to be able to pay bills, and I was really going to struggle. I wasn't going to have anybody come and save me and just give me money to pay all my bills. So from there, I jumped in and I felt it, because that was one thing that I really wanted to give myself, was that shot of, hey, this is make it or break it for real.
Yeah.
You don't stay consistent with this, you're going to struggle and you're going to feel it. And I'm just happy that I did that to myself. I gave me that those moments to feel pressured and struggle and all and really drove me to get into that fight or flight and build what I knew inside that I could build.
Definitely. So I hope you guys are encouraged by this talk, and I'm so thankful for you jumping on the podcast today. Very, very awesome talking to you. I just, as a friend, love talking to you. As a professional, I love talking to you. Like I said, seeing the come up, seeing you come from where you started to where you are now, to just the ability and the drive and the gusto and the spunk and just like going at it and just like giving life your all and giving this thing your all and making it work, making it happen. So props to you. There's always more growth. I know that you're always looking to grow. So you're on the journey still, as we all are. But it's exciting to see like how far you've already come and like what more it could be. So I will end it with my little inspirational vitamin. As I stole this from the radio, I heard this little segment called Inspirational Vitamin. I was like, I got to do that. So I have this picture that I drew. It's awful, but it's the concept that matters. This is the motto. This is the Give Love motto. And I put it in a frame and I put it above my bed right next to this. So in contrast of, yes, hustle, grind, keep it, but also keep that mentality of be loving, be good to people when you can, like make sure that you're taking care of yourself and keep that grind, but also like everybody needs a little bit of love. So we're gonna probably end it right there. But thank you again for joining me. Hopefully we can have you on again. Maybe we'll figure out once I have all my apps finally able to update, because they're finally unlocking my Apple ID. Maybe we'll get you on the YouTube or on the Facebook lives as well. But I really appreciated having you here. Thanks for sharing your journey with us. It was really good to talk to you. Always good to talk and to see your face.
And for having me, and it's always a pleasure talking to you.
Definitely.
Man, I love seeing what you're doing, man. Stay consistent with it, man. You're onto something. I feel like you're getting there, man, and you're doing your thing. You're moving one step closer every day.
Thank you. Every day. But the goal is always better than yesterday in every part of life.
Yep.
All right, then. Well, thank you all for joining us. Thanks, Henry, again. I'm going to go ahead. I'll link him in my story, and I'll try to link his stores in as well on the YouTube video if the audio is all correct there. If not, I'll just do it in a post on the Facebook and Instagram pages. I'll link his stores. Go check him out. He does good work. He gets good product. And other than that, I will see you all next week on the podcast. It was wonderful to talk to you all, and peace out. High five.
See you later, bro.
And now we're going to end the YouTube one. So we're going to see how well this translated over here. My understanding is that from a couple comments that the audio did go through on this end. If not, whoever tuned in for an hour of me listening to this, and if you didn't hear it, thank you for tuning in. We'll see you all next week for another podcast. You're wonderful, fantastic, marvelous, all the rest. Peace out. High five. Oop.